For more is Dana Telsey, CEO of Telsey Advisory Group. Dana, this is clearly a company that is emerging very differently from where it started pre-pandemic. What should investors do with the stock?
I think overall, when you look at the stock, one of the key things that came out of this report, their inventory levels are up 14%. So they're going to have merchandise to move through the first half. I think the game plan they have in place with Old Navy, Athleta going off mall and online is the right plan. You have issues with COVID in this first half of the year that I think could be impactful to margins with that 14% inventory levels. I think in the near term, I think there's opportunity in Costco. I want to get through that inventory in Gap.
So just on Gap, I of course asked Sonia Singhal, Dana, about Kanye West, because there's a lot of anticipation there. She said that she spoke with Kanye last night, got a progress report on the creative deal, and that they're on progress and they're on target. She said this is a top priority for both of us, and they are on track to launch the line in the first half of the year. What's that going to do for the core Gap brand, which has been under a little pressure?
Exactly. And I think collaborations mean something. Certainly having collaborations with impactful influencers is key. And I think that's a help for Gap. Is it going to be the big savior to Gap? I don't think so. I think it could be improvement. I think it's got to be Old Navy and Athleta that are the drivers, along with online. But to bring awareness to the core Gap brand could help them, and also could help them on the margin side. I think getting clean on inventory, given the impact that you have from lower rent costs, is the key to higher margins going forward.
Dana, what did you make of the Costco report?
I thought the Costco report, I think it's about the February sales. Keep in mind, last year, that last week of February, their comps were up over 300 basis points. So the fact that they did a 13% comp in February is encouraging. They missed the quarter on the EPS. We got to hear the breakout of some of those COVID costs, but they're an essential retailer. I think Gap has the game plan in place for the future. I think Costco is where the consumer's going now.
More broadly, Dana, we just got a $900 billion shot of stimulus. We saw what it did to retail sales. They boomed in January. If we get another $1 trillion plus, almost $2 trillion, where's that going to go? Which retailers do you want to be in?
So I think the names that I want to be in, I want to be in the reopening and recovery names. I think of Urban Outfitters because people are going to get together for social occasions. I think you're going to see the Abercrombies of the world do well. I think the off-pricers, it's going to help their inventory levels. Look at Burlington's numbers today. They were very good, and you can chase demand. And don't forget those luxury names like LVMH will be impactful. And I think you're going to be able to see consumers want to get out and spend. And I think they'll want to spend on occasions, travel and services, but also we haven't had apparel spending in over a year, and I think they'll want to refresh their wardrobes.
Dana, I wanted to ask you what your latest view on Walmart is. It's had quite a pronounced slide in just the last couple of weeks. Does that make sense to you, or do you think this is a great buying opportunity?
I think the Walmarts and the Targets of the world, I think they're more of a buying opportunity. And the reason why, it typically is 66 days that it takes for consumers to form habits. Walmart and Target sell more than just essentials, and I think you'll see people continuing to go back there. I think you have an opportunity in Walmart with their buying power, with what they're doing with online, and I think there's awareness there, and with stimulus, their customer is going to benefit.
You know, one thing that came up in the conversation with the CEO of Gap was the port situation and some issues they've been having there. Not alone. Dana, what's going on broadly with the supply chain for retail right now, and where do you see the problem points?
I think it's been one of the most impactful issues with supply chain in terms of what we're seeing out of the retailers. We're seeing congestion just getting into the ports anywhere from 2 weeks to even 3 weeks. And then once goods arrive, the availability of truckers just to get those goods from the ports all the way out until the distribution centers and ultimately to the stores. It's been one of the most challenged time periods. And it will probably take the first half of the year to work itself out. And I think that's why you're going to see inventory levels continue to be in a little bit of a mismatch until we do sort this out. By the back to school season, we should have it sorted out.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.